Hello and welcome to this Cloud Solution Architect series. In this, I'll be talking about a very important aspect of cloud solution architecture, that is cost optimization. Cloud is all about optimizing the cost, how you can reduce the IT spend or the cloud spend for your organization. You'll be recognized for that. Everybody looks on to everyone who involved into that cloud cost discussion and wanted to see the benefit of using the cloud. Now, apart from the technology benefit and other benefits which you often talk about cloud, cost is something which is always the topmost priority. If your cost of running an IT solution on premises is cheaper than it is running in the cloud, you have a tough time talking to the business to make them understand why they should move into cloud. So it is the most important aspect of any conversation. So that is why it has to be top of your agenda. So you need to control your cloud spend. Now, as we say that cloud is infinite, you can have n number of resources, you have more power, but with the more power comes the greater responsibility. That means you need to be a bit more responsible. If you go ahead and create n number of virtual machines, at the end of the day, you need to pay for it. Though you don't have to wait for the hardware to get ready, etc. But you need to be very cognizant about the fact that it is at the end of the day cost to your business. So make sure that you don't end up spending resources which you don't require or end up over provisioning these resources. Choose the minimum SKU required for your requirement. Maybe you can have a thin resource in development environment, and in production you might have a better quality resources. A lot of times I've seen organizations keep the similar deployment pattern for all their different landing zones. For example, for dev, UAT, and production, but it is not required. You can save a lot of money in places where you don't have real users. They are only used for development and testing purposes. So make sure that you also consider that. You consider something which is a better return on investment. So if you have had an application already running on premises, everybody will try to compare not only the performance and the benefit of having it under control, but also the cost aspect of it. So if your cost is more than what you used to have, then it will be asked question why it is so, and you have opportunities to reduce, resize, um, shut down few resources which are not required for 24 by 7. So doing all those cost optimization exercises, which is not just one time activity, let me tell you, it has to happen on a regular cadence. So if your application is surviving for a couple of years, maybe every 6 months you need to do this cost optimization exercise just to make sure that you have better SKU available. You probably have over provisioned some resources, can reduce the size because cloud does allow you to have that vertical and horizontal scaling. So if you have done some vertical scaling, that means have a higher configuration virtual machine, for example, you can reduce the size of the virtual machine, reduce the number of cores and the RAMs of that virtual machine to save some cost, which sometimes is quite significant. I have seen in my experience. And also the collaboration with your FinOps. So in today's modern environment, enterprises has FinOps. They have the responsibility of procuring the cloud and controlling the cloud spend. So make sure you have a collaboration with them. They certainly have some guidelines. You want to follow those guidelines. Not only that, you want to also help them improve on saving the cost. So it is both give and take. So there's sometimes suggest you to do something, and you sometimes also helps them realize that there are ways to save. So at the end of the day, your company is saving the cost, right? So that's what you need to look at. Your application performance should not be hampered overall. But if it is, let's say, over provision, so you don't need a whole ocean to practice your swimming. So you can actually live with a 100-meter swimming pool, maybe in that sense, right? So you why need so large number of resources for everything? You probably are not going to spend all of them. So keep an eye on that and keep doing the cost optimization on a regular interval and keep saving the money for your company, because the more profit your company can make, the better it is for other spend, like having more resources for the cloud team, having more developers, engineering people, having more R&D spend, so etc. So it's significant at the end of the day. You try to contribute to that cause rather than thinking about making your life simpler by provisioning all big resources, which is absolutely not um, acceptable. Thank you very much and have a great day.